Hey everyone, before we dive into this story, please hit that subscribe button to join our community for more powerful, real life stories like this one. They claimed I envied the spotlight some women bask in while others toil unnoticed. I bought into that narrative until this evening. I'm Kylie Anderson, 29, a compliance manager, the kind of person who handles responsibilities no one acknowledges. Shards of crystal gleam on my parents' oak dining table. My black dress feels like a shield I've borrowed. Dad lifts his glass, his voice warm with pride. To Sam's remarkable triumph, he declares, the youngest lawyer to dominate Denver's courts. Mom's hand, sparkling with jewelry, rests on Sam's. We always knew you were bound for brilliance, she says. I try to speak, but my words vanish amid the clinking cutlery. Maybe I'm not meant for glory, just for holding things together. Then Mom turns, her smile cutting like a blade. Honestly, Kylie, you're not even half the woman your sister is. The room stills. Even the chandelier seems to quiver. If you've ever felt unseen at your own table, you'll get it. If I'm only half a person, why am I covering your entire mortgage? That night, when they said I wasn't enough, I stopped acting like I was okay. Part 2, The Unseen Supporter. It began 4 years ago, at 11:37 p.m. The phone's ring felt like a judgment. Mom's voice broke through the line, trembling. Kylie, we're about to lose the house. I bolted upright, pulse racing. How much? Just $2,500, she said. A one-time fix. I hit send on the transfer. My dream of a down payment vanished instantly. You're such a good daughter, Mom said. Dad called it a rough patch. But his patches never ended. 3 weeks later, another call. A bank error, they said. Then another and another. Eventually, I set up automatic payments. It was simpler than enduring their guilt trips. Months melted together. Condo listings passed me by. My NBA season tickets lapsed. My savings dwindled quietly. Then Instagram painted a different picture. Mom at Mel's, captioned, anniversary bliss. New golf clubs gleamed in the background. Dad's grin was wide, the kind that costs. At work, Jessica noticed my ramen lunches. You good? She asked. Just cutting back, I lied. For what? She pressed. I had no answer. Over coffee, it poured out. For years, $84,000. She sketched numbers on a napkin, lost interest, missed retirement contributions, opportunities gone. Then she said something that shattered my perspective. You can't burn yourself out to keep them comfortable. Silence settled. Something shifted inside me, subtle but earth-shaking. For the first time, I wondered who I could be if I stopped fueling their fire. Her words hit harder than any bill. I called it love, but love doesn't send invoices. That night, I opened my banking app, watching the next transfers count down. 1 more month, 1 more drain. My future was still being built. Part 3, Calling Out the Manipulation. At 5:48 a.m., sunlight cuts through the blinds. My thumb lingers over cancel transfer. For years, $84,000, a quiet theft masked as obligation. The app asks, are you sure? I press confirm. The silence that follows feels sacred. For the first time in years, my next paycheck is mine. The phone rings before my coffee's cold. Dad, then Mom, then Sam. Voicemails blending into a chorus of blame. You've turned your back on family. After everything we've done. I don't call back. I block their numbers one by one. By noon, an email from my aunt. By night, a call from my uncle. The family's machinery moves fast. Jessica calls them flying monkeys. I call it evidence I've finally broken free. The next day, I meet Martha, a financial advisor, in her office that smells of leather and citrus. She reviews my bank statements, her face growing serious. 84,000 over 4 years, she repeats. They never mentioned it. Never. What you've been through, she says, is financial exploitation. The term lands like a stone, cold, clear, irrefutable. Not support, not devotion, exploitation. Something in me tilts, like a frame knocked askew. I blame myself for not giving enough. Now I see I gave everything, and they treated my sacrifice as their supply. No apologies needed, just change. Martha crafts a new budget, one that prioritizes me. savings, retirement, travel. Those words, once distant, now feel like air I can breathe. That afternoon, I open an investment account with $1,400, the amount I used to send them. It's like staking a claim. This money, this life is mine. I rejoin the graduate program I deferred 7 times. The confirmation email lights up my screen. Welcome back, Miss Anderson. I stare until tears blur the words. 3 weeks later, the calls from relatives fade. The silence feels like a home after the guests have left. At work, I stay late, crafting a new compliance system. My boss reads my report and grins. Outstanding, Kylie. You're ready for bigger things. The next morning, a promotion email arrives. Project lead. Recognition feels safe for once. Mornings taste different now. Coffee with cream, not guilt. I jog at dawn, take cooking classes on Tuesdays, hike on weekends. Small acts that stitch together the self I'd ignored. One night, I check my bank app. The balance climbs, not falls. For the first time, it doesn't spark guilt. I whisper to the empty apartment, a vow to the girl who kept paying, it's done. You're free. When I stopped paying, I started living. Part 4, the truth and the strategy. 3 weeks later, my inbox glows. Subject, director role, Seattle. A 45% raise, equity, relocation, a chance disguised as freedom. I almost laugh. For years of sinking, and now the tide turns. I booked the interview for Thursday. That night, I raise a glass of cheap wine to myself, tasting the promise of new paths. Morning brings a text from Grace, my old Denver neighbor. You need to see this. An image loads slowly, like my phone is shielding me. A white banner stretches across my parents' Tudor home. Red letters blaring, "Congratulations, Sam, for saving the family home." My coffee mug shatters, hot liquid stinging my skin. I barely notice. For years, $84,000, erased by vinyl and audacity. The phone rings, Sam, her voice taut, unsure. They told the church I paid the mortgage. I laugh, a sound stripped of joy. Of course they did. Her breath catches. Kylie, I didn't know. I know, I say. But now you do. All day, that banner burns in my mind, bold against their facade of lies. That night, I open my laptop, pulling up 4 years of proof. Receipts, bank logs, transfer records, every just this once text. The files glow like evidence in a trial. I print them, pages falling like snow. Truth takes shape. I make copies, 3 sets. One for me, one for Sam, one for every relative who judged blindly. The phone buzzes, Mom's voicemail, sugar sweet, calculated. We're hosting a family dinner to celebrate your sister's sacrifice. We hope you'll join. Sacrifice. The word sours in my gut. I read the digital invite. Cream backdrop, gold lettering, praising Samantha's selfless devotion to family. I close the laptop, then open it again. Anger sharpens into precision. Not rage, structure. Jessica answers on the second ring. They're giving Sam credit for the mortgage. She exhales, long and fierce. What's your move? I eye the folder of truth. I'm going home to face them. Not to fight, to document. The plan forms clearly. Projector, HDMI, backup adapter, copies, cloud link. Proof ready for every doubting eye. Evidence outlasts anger. Numbers don't need to shout. I book the flight, pack a suit that feels like determination, and tuck the flash drive into my wallet. For the first time in 4 years, I own the narrative. They rewrote history. I brought the receipts. Part 5, The Reckoning. Saturday evening, Denver shimmers under a golden sunset. I stand on the familiar porch, folder under one arm, laptop bag under the other. Inside, laughter hums over classical music, Dad's favorite backdrop for deceit. Sam opens the door, her mascara flawless but her eyes uneasy. You're here, she whispers. Did you think I'd stay away? The living room is a stage. Flowers they couldn't afford, catering from a restaurant that once rejected Dad's card. A projector screen glows in the corner. The Anderson family, a legacy of unity. Mom sees me first, her champagne glass pausing midair. Kylie, what a surprise, she says, her voice too bright, too fragile. We weren't sure you'd come. Dad turns, his smile polished, stance commanding. Pumpkin, perfect timing. We're toasting your sister's generosity. I stride to the projector, heels steady on gleaming floors. Then let's share the whole story. Silence spreads, forks halting midair. Of course, Dad says, his laugh forced. Our younger daughter has something to say. He gestures to the projector, his error. I plug in my laptop. The screen flickers, then fills with rows of data. Dates, amounts, transfers, receipts labeled mortgage payment. Charles and Elaine Anderson. What's this? Mom's voice sharpens. The truth, I reply. For years. $84,000. Paid by me to keep this house. Gasps ripple through the room. Uncle Pete sets down his drink. Aunt Judith's brow furrows. Sam's eyes widen with realization. Mom steps forward, voice quivering. This isn't the time or place. Neither is lying to your family, I say, calm as stone. Next slide. Screenshots of Mom's pleading texts. Dad's just until the business recovers. Photos of their vacations during their so-called desperate months. Dad's face reddens. You're humiliating us. No, I say, clicking again. You humiliated yourselves. I brought proof. Sam steps beside me, quiet but steady. For once, the favored daughter and the shadow stand together. Aunt Judith rises, clapping slowly once, twice, 3 times. It's about time someone spoke the truth, she says. Mom's lips quiver. Dad's facade crumbles. Family matters stay private, he mutters. Then you shouldn't have hung a banner, I counter. The final slide appears. The banner photo overlaid with one line. Paid by Kylie Anderson. Silence falls, pure and complete. In it, I feel something lift, not triumph, not vengeance, but release. They built their legacy on deception. I dismantled it with facts. Part 6, Freedom with Limits. 6 months later, Seattle feels like a new world. Rain patters softly on my condo windows, steady as a pulse. Below, the city sparkles with quiet promise. Sam sits across from me in a cozy cafe, her hair pulled back, her laugh free for the first time in years. I still can't believe they tried to add your name to the deed, she says. Their half-hearted apology, I guess. And you said no, she adds, smiling faintly. I have my own home, I tell her. What I need is respect, not property. She nods, and for a moment, we're not competitors, just sisters seeing each other clearly. 6 months since that night. 6 months of building something real from the wreckage. My phone buzzes. An industry newsletter. Anderson team earns Innovation Award for Compliance Solution. My team, my leadership. Sam grins. Vice President Anderson sounds pretty good. I laugh. Better than secret mortgage payer. That evening, I cook pasta with friends. Laughter filling the space where worry once lived. No buzzing phone, no mental math. No guilt, just life. Warm and unpolished. On Tuesdays, I teach at the community center. A dozen women sit in folding chairs, notebooks ready. We discuss boundaries, budgets, self-belief. Boundaries aren't selfish, I tell them. They're the bedrock of respect, even with family. A young woman in the back raises her hand. What if it's your parents? I smile, gentle but firm. Especially then. At home, I open my journal and write on a fresh page, Year 1, my true life. Below, 3 truths. Worth isn't tied to sacrifice. Love without respect is just control. Starting over at 30 isn't defeat, it's bravery. I step onto the balcony, Mount Rainier glowing pink in the fading light. For the first time, freedom feels like presence, solid and alive. My phone buzzes, Mom's latest post. Family is forever. I close the app with a smile, no bitterness. Family can last when it's rooted in truth. If it's not, we create our own. The greatest inheritance isn't money, homes, or approval. It's the life you claim as yours. If you've ever been told your worth belongs to someone else, know this. Peace isn't handed out. It's earned. If this story moved you, please give it a like and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And don't forget to subscribe for more true stories of family betrayal and the strength we find within ourselves.